Hi Hemant, good morning.
Good morning, Dev.
Yeah, I'm still facing the issue, unable to create the account.
Mhm.
Yeah, hi, good morning, everyone.
Hey, good morning, Rahul.
Hemant, actually, yesterday I'm trying to create the account.
Mhm.
So I'm also facing the issue. Actually, credit card is deducted, but
Okay.
in within second it refunded, and it's saying like, just a minute. I have I tried with multiple credit cards,
Mm-hmm.
but still facing the same. It's saying error processing transaction. We're unable to complete your sign up. Common sign up errors is gives like two or three reasons. Even I raised the support ticket also, but
Okay.
no use. Just I'm checking again.
What is the exact error you're getting? Common?
Just a minute. I click error processing transaction. We're
Okay.
unable to complete your sign up. Common sign up error are due to A, using prepaid cards. Oracle only accept credit card and debit card. B, intentionally or unintentionally making one's location or identity. Entering incomplete or inaccurate account details. Like these three reasons are given.
Oh,
So it is a generic, I think, same I'm getting. So initially card is, it is deducting the money and refunding.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Same here.
Yeah. Then start free trial. So it is processing little bit and then it is getting error out.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hemant, even for me also, like I haven't tried today or yesterday. I tried a month back. It is same error. I also used multiple cards.
Okay. Can you also check with the team like Prasad in this number if with the screenshot what you are getting while creating this account?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, what, Hemant, what you said?
Can you check with Prasad on this number with the screenshot of the error?
Okay.
And also, if, uh, okay, yeah, just send this screenshot to this number. We'll see that what is the exact error, what you're getting.
Now?
I mean, after this session also, anytime.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. Or you can also mail to the info@, UnoGeeks.com.
When you created this account, like yesterday, we are seeing.
This account is an old one, but we do have a new account created last month itself.
Mm-hmm.
One which we have created last month around 14th of June.
Mhm.
We will give some couple of more minutes and start with the session today.
Even Hemant, I tried in incognito also as support. Yesterday support suggested me to try in incognito, and after 1 hour,
Okay.
still no luck on that.
Oh. Anything to do with the region what you are selecting?
Region means our local
Any
region.
the account in which tenancy you are trying to create.
I tried in Ashburn, Phoenix. Shall I
Okay.
select Frankfurt today?
Yeah, you can select Frankfurt also. Let me just go through once.
Yesterday I selected Frankfurt, but no luck. Same
Okay,
issue.
same
Okay.
getting right.
Mm.
Yeah, this is the home region which I'm talking about.
Yeah.
See, it says something because of high demand of ARM, AM, AY, A1 compute capacity in South Korea Central. Okay, this is on South Korea Central, Seoul, and Japan Tokyo. Okay, then we have to give all that details, and only you'll be able to see.
Address we can give in short, right? No need to required give it full.
Yeah, in short also it should be fine. Because 2, 3 are optional only.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see that. Okay, then let's start up the session for today, which will be the identity and access management. So this will be the first step where we will be creating the users, and we will understand what is the identity and access management service which is available in OCI. So we will start with discussing about what is identity and access management, and we'll have an IAM overview, and we'll have a demo also where we will be creating users, groups, and we will attach some policies to that users. And we will also create compartments in the tenancy, and we will discuss about the various policies which we can attach to that particular users. So that is what we'll be going to do today. So we'll start with discussing about the identity and cloud management, identity and access management. So to start up with identity and access management, we'll say it as IAM. So it lets us to control who has the access to the tenancy and the resources. And you can control what type of access to a group of users you have, and what specific access you have for that particular resources. So when you say resources, sorry. So when I say a resource is nothing but this part where you will see the cloud objects that we create. It can be a compute instance, it can be a block storage, it can be a network VCN, it can be the subnets and route tables, anything what we create in the OCI, it is nothing but a resource. Here we term it as resource. So once the identity, when we have a user who has an access to the OCI, so Oracle Identity Management will be able to authenticate that particular user, and then based on the authorizations, like what all the authorized policies we write on that particular for that user, he will have the access to that particular resource. So a user is nothing but an individual employee or a system that needs to manage or use your customer or company's infrastructure resources. So a user is nothing but an employee, or we mostly who is using that particular tenancy, who will be creating all these resources or managing the resources, etc. And then you'll see a groups. Groups is nothing but a collection of users who all need the same type of access to a particular set of resources or a compartment. So when we say that, let's take an example like you have a set of users which work on a same project. Like maybe we say it's as an ERP project, and you have another project called a HCM project. So ERP project users will be under one user group called ERP, and HCM users will be another group called HCM. So these groups, on top of these groups, you will have separate policies for each and individual groups, right? So here for ERP, we'll give access to those particular resources which are being used by the ERP users, and HCM will be having those particular set of access resource, so that they will only be able to modify or update those particular instances. Like you may have 2 databases or 2-3 applications. So ERP users will not be able to touch the database of HCM, and HCM will not be able to touch the any resources or any databases applications which are related to the ERP project. So in that way, you can segregate the groups. So it can be ERP or HCM as it in real time. How it will be is like you will have a network administrator. So you will have network group. You will have an administrator group. The group will be having the complete access. Like if you say all the access to all the resources in the tenancy, and then you will have a read-only users. Like they will have a set of access, but they will not be able to modify or create or delete any resources. So they will be just be having maybe something like an audit purpose. They are logging into the tenancy, and maybe they have to do some cost reporting analysis. So they just need access to the particular resource only, right? So they don't need the complete admin privilege. So we create different groups, and different groups will be assigned with those policies, and that and then the users will be added to those groups. So that is the whole idea behind these groups and users. And you also have something called compartments. compartment is nothing but a collection of related resources. So a related resources, maybe you divide compartments in such a way that you have a compartment called network compartment, and you have a compartment called database compartment, and you have compartment called application compartment. So all your network related resources will be under this compartment. Maybe if we say this is a network. So this network compartment will have the required resources created under this one. So here you will create the VCN. If you have a VCN1, VCN2, or if you want to create some subnets under that. So everything will come under this particular compartment. So we will keep a collection of resources under one compartment so that it will be easy for us to maintain all the other resources as well. So compartments are mostly fundamentally a component of OCI for organizing and isolating your resources. So you can use them to clearly separate the resources for the purpose of measuring usages and billing purpose. And you can also separate them for the policy purposes, like the access which you want to give, so that if you are keeping all your resources, like what we said, what we discussed, if you have an ERP project and you have all the resources under this ERP project. So for those users who are working on this project, so you can directly give the access to this compartment at the compartment level. So they will have all the access under whatever the resources created under this compartment. So this is something like a logical separation of your resources, where you will be segregating the resources in such a way that they are easy for us to maintain. So a common approach is to create a compartment for each major part of your organization. Like if you have like I said, ERP is your one of the group in your, or if your customer is having multiple different orgs, like they have an operation in Turkey, so they want a Turkey operations, or they have another organization somewhere else in UK. So in that way also you can segregate your compartments, and then based on that you will create the subdirectories, subcompartments under that. So when we talk about a tenancy, tenancy is nothing but the root compartment that all the organizations get in the OCI. The moment you create an account in OCI, you will see a root compartment by default. That is nothing but we call it as a tenancy. So Oracle automatically creates the tenancy for you when you subscribe to that account or create that account. And directly within the tenancy, you have the IAM entities like the users, groups, and the compartments policies. You can also put policies into compartments inside your tenancy, and you can place other types of resources under your compartment. So basically, when we create a policy, we create a policy at the root level so that the policy is applicable to this root compartment to the tenancy level. So you can also create a policy at another compartment level also. Policy is nothing but a document kind of thing that specifies who can access which resource. It's very simple. Like you write a policy, and based on that policy, you will decide like who can access what resources. So the access is granted at a group level and at the compartment level. The access can be given at a compartment level or at a group level. Or you will also see instance principals also as an identifiers. So which means you can create a policy that gives a group a specific type of access within a specific compartment or at a tenancy level itself. If you give a group of access to a tenancy, the group automatically gets the same type of access to the all compartments inside the tenancy. So the moment you give access to the tenancy level, if you write a policy at tenancy level, that means that particular group will get the same type of access under all this, whatever the subcompartments you have inside the tenancy. And you have the concept of home region, what we saw when we are creating the account. The home region where all your IAM resources are residing. So all the resources are global and available across all the regions, but the master set of definitions resides in the single region, which is your home region. You must make changes to your IAM resources in your home region only. Those changes will automatically propagate it to all the regions. So whatever the resources you are creating, so that they will be residing in your home region only. Even though if you have subscription to your, you have another region subscribed, you can still access your resources from that particular region, but the actual resources will be in the home region where you are going to create them. So the idea is once the user gets logged in, the user has to get an access to these resources. So the overall identity, once you authenticate this user, so the next step is to get authorized, like what all the permissions he has, and based on the permissions what he has, then under which compartments he has those policies, I mean the permissions, and then he will be allowed to what particular resource he can access. So if you see on a bigger side, like it is nothing but divided into authentication and authorization. So even though you have in your first page, like when you log into your tenancy, when you are providing the username and password, there you are getting the authentication, like you are getting authenticated, like your username and password is being validated with your identity provider, which validates your username. And then once your username is validated, then it will see for the authorizations, like whenever you're trying to access any particular resource, then the authorization comes into the picture and it will verify the access, where the access management will make sure that whether you have the access to this resource or whether you are authorized to modify or create any resource under this particular compartment or tenancy. And based on the policies, whether you have access or not, then you will have the required resource, whether you can view the resource or create the resource or whatever you want to do, you will be able to do. So let's move on to the next slide. Clear this. So we'll create a user in OCI. So in the tenancy where we have in that tenancy, we will create a user. So we'll see how to create a user by logging into the tenancy, and we'll go to the identity from the main menu, from the navigation menu, and we'll go to the federation and create a user. So for creating a user, all we need is first name, last name, and an email ID. So email, it will send an authentication. Again, a notification will be sent to that particular email address where you are creating this account. So once you validate that, activate that account based on that notification, then you'll be able to log into that particular user. So let's move on to the tenancy and create this user. So as I said, the first page will be always cloud.oracle.com, which is cloud.
Hemant.
Yeah.
So suppose I want to, as you said, we'll create a compartment like a network and other way. And also suppose I need to create a compartment or a segregation of prod, non-prod.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how that will be
See,
taken care of?
like if you have a maybe the project name is something like some ERP itself is what we are discussing. Right? So ERP is a project name. So under that ERP, or let's say you have a project of EBS, which is the main application which you will be using. So you'll create a compartment with EBS, and then you'll create a compartment with maybe DW or DWH or OBIE as another compartment. So let's say like EBS, you have a compartment, you have OBIE as a compartment, you have something like ODI or a data warehouse as a compartment. And
Okay.
under EBS, what you'll do is you'll create subcompartments like prod and non-prod, and same goes with the OBIE as well, and same goes with the DWH as well.
This
And
is
then
fine.
this is for the application or the project level thing. You will
Okay.
also create some other compartments called networking, where you'll keep all your VCNs and other stuff or the storage level things in this one. And you'll also create a compartment like shared services. So where you'll keep the shared services which has to be monitoring, like maybe if you have a OEM or you have something else which has to monitor all these applications. So you'll keep it in that particular compartment. So under this prod, then you will have one more compartment. You can place one more compartment like database applications. All the prod applications will go onto this. And here non-prod, you can create dev test. And under dev test, you can again make database applications, etc. Storage, whatever you want. So in that way, you can, if you are giving an access to prod compartment specific to the database compartment, you can give. So the DBS will only have access to the DB compartment. They don't have access to the application compartment.
Correct. But this network compartment guy, he will have access to all these, right?
Not necessarily. He may have an access to the VCNs. If you have sub compartment under network, you will have a VCN compartment, or under
No, so this
yeah.
all network, all this compartment needs a network also, network layout, right? So how that will happen? I'm not getting how the fencing will happen. This network guy should create
The network guy will create a network with some VCN, I mean subnets and everything. So he will have access to the network resources. He doesn't need a resource access to create a database, right? So
correct,
there are,
correct.
yeah. So he will have access to all the resources under the. So he will to create anything under the network compartment. But
Okay.
he will not have create access to create any database family related resources. So yeah,
But
so
this network compartment, I was actually thinking like, the superset subset.
no.
Network will be full superset of this. So it is not like that.
Yeah,
Network
it's individual
similar.
family level. Yeah,
Yeah. So they can able to create only the network related stuff means that is we are creating virtually like that,
yeah,
right?
yes, yeah,
Okay, but they can able to create for the prod, non-prod,
yeah,
EW,
yeah,
Oracle, all network related stuff. They are able to create that.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Network they will be creating, but after that, like whatever the resource privilege, it's all based on the policies what we are providing to that particular user. So if they don't have a policy which says that you are able to create maybe say a database resource, then obviously they'll not be able to create that. Even though they have access to that particular compartments, but they will not be able to create any other resources. So
Okay.
let us log into this one. Let me take an incognito one more session. 1 second. Close everything first. Okay. So cloud.oracle.com is the first page which we are going to access, and then you can give your account name, or if you directly want to access your tenancy, you can also give cloud.oracle.com and then tenant equals to your account name. So this will take you to the direct page instead of giving the account name every time. So it will redirect to the IDCS page where you will be getting the screen to do the authentication. So here you will have the identity, which is the identity domain, which is the default domain, which will do the authentication of this user. And then the access management in the next part will manage like what all the access you need to have. I mean, you have based on the access, it will control our access through the policies and give the access required access, like whatever we have to create or okay, I have changed this password. Let me this password. Okay. So once you log into the tenancy, what we will do is we'll go to the main menu and click on identity and security. And under identity and security, you can click on domains or identity. So which will take you to the identity page where we will manage all the users. So under the identity, you will see something like the overview, domains, network sources, policies, compartments. So as of now, with the moment you create a tenancy, you will see a root compartment with your tenancy name, whatever the account name which we are creating, and any other compartments if you are creating, you will see those compartments. So let's see. These are the compartments which are created. So I can delete those. So yeah. So by default, you will see the basic compartment, which is the account with the account name. So again, as I said yesterday, you will see OCID, which is the Oracle Cloud Identifier for each resource. So this is the OCID value for the compartment. And under that compartment, this is the root compartment. You will see what all the child compartments you have on inside. You will see all those compartments. So we go to the domains and create a user by selecting the domain. You have to choose the compartment. So in this case, you have to make sure that you are in the root compartment always, and then click on the domain, which is a free domain by default. So once you click on the domain page, you will see all the details like you have the users, groups, dynamic groups, applications, cloud services, jobs, reports, etc. So if you see, if you click on users, you have an option like create user. You'll go and click on create user and give the first name, like cloud, and the last name is Oracle. Cloud Oracle 23. So we are giving the username as the email address. So here, what we are saying is we are going to use the username as an email address itself. Otherwise, if you just uncheck this checkbox, so you can use the email address. You can have a different username, and you can have a different, I mean, like a separate email address and the username. Like in this case, I can keep the username as this instead of giving my email address as the username. Or you can use email address itself as your username. So I'm going to do with the email address as the username. So here it is asking, do you want to assign this account with an administrator role? So the moment you select this checkbox, it will assign the administrator role, which allows them to create a new user, assign service roles, and everything like this gives the highest level of access to this user. So the moment you say that, okay, assign this administrator role, so he will get all the access to this tenancy. So similar user, like initially when you create that tenancy, like when you create that account, you with that account will get this access. So he will be able to create the other users, resources, all the stuff. So now, right now, we are not giving any access to this user. We are just creating this user. So the user is created. You see the status as active. You have the information, user information. Again, if you see, you have an OCID value, username. Because we have not given any other details like middle name, suffix, prefix, you're not seeing those, but you can add them later, or if you want to maintain them. Yeah, Rahul.
Then what is the by default role if he didn't select the that admin?
Yeah, that is based on your uh, you have to decide, like this user, if I'm creating a user, whether this user needs a read-only access, whether this user needs a admin access. That depends on the customer and the team what we have. Like say you are the admin of this tenancy for the customer, and there is some audit employee in the organization. He comes to you and he asks you, like say, Rahul, I need an access to the tenancy, and my job is to just view some audit logs uh, to further compliance, to give the reports, or my job is just to see the tenancy, the cost billing level things. So I need an access to the tenancy. So then you have to decide, like, okay, this guy is just is from the governance team or from the audit team. So I don't need to give him all the access to the resources. I can just give a particular access so that he will only go and view this reports under the billing and costing. So based on that resource type under this under all the compartments, you can give the access, but only for this resources, the billing and costing resources, or only for the audit resources. You can give an access, like say view resource for all the other resources. So he cannot do any modification, or he cannot create any new resources. So it's up to you to decide, like what users should have what kind of access. By default, if what we do is we create a groups. We have a set of groups like admin group or read-only group or some project level group, etc. And whenever you create a user, you assign that user directly to that group, so that he will have that set of access to that particular resources under that. Okay. Like
So,
here,
like
yeah.
while creating this Oracle cloud user,
Hmm.
So it's by default we don't get any role.
This user will not get any
Yeah,
role because I want to
yeah.
show you like how it will be. But in a real-time use case scenario, in a I mean, when you are doing the first time tenancy foundation, you will first create all the groups. You will have all the groups. You will define the groups. Like, okay, these are the groups which I want to create, and these are the at an org level. You have these many projects or these many like different organizations you have. So then you will come up with all those groups created here. And then once you are creating the users, you will directly assign the users to that particular groups there itself. So you can edit the user, like I said, like you can add all the details for this user, and you can also reset the password. And this will send a notification to the user with the reset password email. And you can reset the factors like multi-factor authentication if it is enabled at the tenancy level. You can also do that if you have registered your mobiles. You can do reset your factors. So edit user capabilities, whether this user can have a local password or he can have API keys or tokens. All those things you can change the capabilities of this user. And if you go to the more actions, you can see whether you can what all the things you can do, like deactivate this user. This is nothing but linking with the support. And you can add a tag to this user. Tagging is nothing but if you want to search something based on the tagging part. So you can add a tag like this user belongs to this department. You can create some tags like department wise. And then you can also clear all the sign-in sessions where you want to, if you have set some sessions in different terminals or different places like mobile sessions or something. And finally, you can delete the user as well from this user, delete from more actions. So we will come to all these things in detail later, but these are the resources what a user has. So if you want to assign some group, you can come here and assign any additional groups if he has to get into. So now let's go back to this user. Have to see this user is created, right? So I should get an email address, email authentication notification. Yeah, I think I have given a wrong. It's Oracle Cloud 23. My mistake.
Hemant,
It's
check
not.
junk.
No, it's not Cloud Oracle 23. It's
Okay.
Oracle Cloud 23. So let's create one more user. It's Oracle Cloud this time. Okay, I'm just creating this again. Yeah, so you have the email. So the first time when you create additional users in your account, you will have this welcome to domain default. And this is the account name, and this has a link to activate your account. So to get started, what it will say is activate your account, and you also have a link if that doesn't work. So to activate this, what I'll do is, yeah, I'll click on activate your account. So this will directly take me to that login page where it will force me to reset the password. So when the first time we have to set some new password because we don't have a password as of now. We'll give some password based on the required password rules. So this is created and I'll continue to sign in. Okay, this page doesn't work. Some issue because of the cache. Because yeah. So this user is now authenticated, but when comes to the access, he doesn't have any access as of now. So we have not assigned any group to this user. So if you try to create anything, he will not have any access as of now. Like say we are trying to create an instance, so we'll click on the compartment, which is the default root compartment, and you'll see that you don't have any particular access. An unknown problem occurred. Refresh your browser and try again. I think this is something else, but you will see authentication. You don't have authentication error. You'll get some authentication error. Yeah, you don't have permissions to view these resources in this compartment. Try another compartment or contact your administrator for help. So it says that you don't have any access under this compartment. So as of now, we don't have any compartment. We have only the root compartment, which we got by default. And even there, you don't have any access. So let's go to the VCN. See, authorization failed or request resource not found. You don't have, you cannot create anything. Let's say test. /16. I'll give all the defaults and try to create a VCN. And you see authorization failed or request resource not found. So this guy who just got the access, he got the access, but he is only able to log into the tenancy, but he's not able to do anything. So he's not able to read any resources also, or he is not able to create or do anything in the tenancy. Let's see if we can go to the identity. And maybe he creates a new user. Or he's able to see anything. He's not even able to see what all the users are there in this tenancy. So obviously he'll not be able to create a user as well. So he's not allowed. So what we saw is we created a user and we saw that when we are trying to create any resource, we are getting authorization failed or request resource is not found. So now what we will do is we'll create a group, and that group we will assign a policy to that group. We will attach a policy to that particular group, and we will add this user to that group and see how it will change. And this is the policy what we are going to create. So it is very simple and straightforward. the syntax. It's like allow subject to verb and the resource type in location where you get the conditions. So subject is the group, to which group you want to give the access, whether the group, it will be the group name, and the resource type to manage which resource type. So it can be a virtual family, a virtual network family, or it can be a particular instance creation, or it can be any a resource in that particular tenancy. In location, and where you want to give, in the tenancy level you want to give, or you want to give it in the compartment level. So whenever we are creating a policy, it is very easy to create a policy, because it's very the syntax is very straightforward. It's just whether you want to allow group name to manage, or to create. It's very straightforward. So let's go and create. What we will do is we'll create a couple of compartments, and we will also create a group, and then attach a policy to that group, and see this user, and add this user to that group, and see how the changes will be that for that user now. So we'll go back to the main user. Yeah. So going back to the domains, and you have compartments. Okay, for now, let's keep it for the root level only. We'll create compartments in the next session. So let's go back to the domain. So under the users, you will see the groups. So click on the groups and click on the create group. So when creating a group, you just have to mention the group name and the description. So I'll say the group name as, let's say, Cloud ERP. Group for ERP. Okay, and when creating a user, you can also straight away add the users to the groups, or you can do that later. And if you click on the show advanced, you will see the tags. So tags is nothing but if you want to again segregate this group based on the tags, you can do that. So I'm just creating a group called Cloud ERP. It doesn't have any users, and it doesn't have any applications inside. We have not assigned any users or group. Nothing is there. It's just a group. So now we will write a policy. What to do to write a policy? What we will do is we'll go back to the identity page, and you see policies here. So you'll click on the policies, and in the policies under this, if you see there is a network admin policy. If you just see allow group, so something similar, we will write a policy. Let me take a notepad. So here, if you see the syntax, allow group and the group name. So group name, what we have created is the group name ERP. To manage virtual network family is nothing but the family of all the resources under the network family. So when we give virtual network family, that means you can create subnets, you can create route rules, everything, route tables, etc. So in compartment, we don't have compartment. So what we'll say is in tenancy instead of compartment. And so we are allowing the Cloud ERP group to manage the virtual family network in the tenancy. So all the users under this ERP cloud group will be able to create any resources, like anything. Manage means he can create a VCN or he can delete a VCN. He can create anything under the network family. Okay, so I create a policy, like I'll see the policy name is also, I'll keep the same thing, cloud ERP. Cloud ERP, I'll mention it as network. So this policy is for the network under the cloud policy, cloud ERP. You can give description whether you want to give anything meaningful or it's up to you. And then you see where you want to keep this policy at compartment level, or if you have sub compartments, you can mention that as well. So, but by default, we create the policies at the root level. So you have here show manual editor, or you can also use a drop down and select what all the required things you want to do. Instead of writing it as a syntax, you can also build your policy by selecting the drop down, like network management and what you want to do. Let the admins to manage a cloud network. And then you can say domain, what group you want to assign, and cloud ERP group, location, whether you want to give it as a root level. So then it will build the allow group, this one to manage, same thing. What we have done here, the same syntax you are seeing here, allow group, cloud ERP to manage virtual network family in tenancy, so and so. So instead of going manually, you can also use using the policy builder, and you can build the policy statement. So anything is same, but creating the policies in this way is a bit tough to select, because we will have in real time, we'll have a number of policies which we have to create. So we usually use the manual editor, and then you can see the same thing is also copy pasted here. So we will just go with this one, what we have created. And you can also see an example here. Allow group name to verb resource type in compartment. And you have, if you forget that syntax, you can also refer it from here, or you can make use of the policy builder. And if you go to the advanced options, you always see tags, as we discussed. Tags will be there. And then you just create this policy. So now you have the policy created. This policy is for this group. And now we go back to the groups and add this user to this group. There are two ways to add the users. Either from users, you can go and assign it to a group, or from groups, you can assign a user to that group. Anything is same, there's no difference. So I'm just selecting this one. So now we have assigned a group, assigned a user to this group. And now if I go back to this user and go to the networking and see under the virtual cloud networks, if I have an access now, see, I'm not getting the error anymore. And let's try to create and see if I'm able to create a VCN. I'll keep everything as default and try to create a VCN. I'm able to create a VCN now. So this guy is now able to create a VCN. And if he is going under the VCN, He's also able to view all the route tables inside security list, whatever, whether he is able to update, he's able to do everything. Like if you want to add a security rule, he's able to do that. Yeah, he is able to add an ingress rule. So he has all the network related resources access to that in that tenancy. And let's remove this user from this group. I'm just removing this user from the group and going back to the account and see whether he'll be able to still access it. You'll Yeah. So the moment I refreshed it, I'm again unable to see that, even though I have created. So you may think that this resource is something which you have created. So it's nothing like the user who has created. Even though he has created, he will still not be able to access anything under this. Uh, he will not have authorization. Like he cannot create anything more now because we have removed it from the user. So once you log out and log in, you will not even see this temp. You will not have details also. So now some from cache it is coming, but the moment you log out and log in, you will see something like this. You don't have authorizations or anything, uh, any access to view the resources as well. Yeah. Let's just sign out and sign in back.
Again, we assign, we get those rules.
Yeah. Once we assign it back, yeah, he will be able to see the
Same,
view. Yeah.
same the previous one, or we need to create again those things?
No. He will be the VCN. Once you create, it is there forever until unless you delete it from this networking. So the same he will be able to see once you keep that. You keep the user back in that group. So as of now, you're still seeing this. It's coming from cache, it seems. But yeah, you will see mostly the authorization failed or requested resources not found. And if I go back to the security list and try to create something here, add ingress rule. Where I am. I think it's behaving weirdly. Let's go into an incognito window. Maybe I have another session. It's taking caching from there. I'll log out from the main. Let me log out from all the browsers. So that's how it is. You'll not be able to even go inside the test VCN. The moment the access is, I mean, you are out of that group. Even though the resource is something which you have created, but as you don't have a read-only access also on that particular network family resources or under any network resources, you don't have any access. So that is why you see this error. So if you just go back and assign it, you will again see the access normally. Okay, so any questions so far?
So Hemant, suppose as a user, what are the access I do have, I can able to see?
I mean, as a user means which user, whether you are
Normal user.
huh?
I want to see, right? Suppose this type of error any user is getting. So whether I do have a able to create any particular type of resource or not, how I can able to understand, and then I can request to the admin, right?
Hmm.
Or we
Yeah,
need to go to that, as you said, the network will go to that compartment. It is mentioning, right? That you are unable to do so.
correct.
I'm looking mainly for the audit purpose like that.
Hmm.
Suppose I have a here you have given only one permission, right? I
Yeah.
have maybe already 10 permission.
Hmm.
So want to understand from auditing, okay, what are the things are there?
Yeah. So what we can do is quickly, I'll show you one more thing. Let's go back to the identity and security and identity.
Hmm.
We'll go to the domains or default domain groups. I create a group called auditors. Okay.
Okay.
I'll give it. I don't need to give some description. It's fine. So I have a group called auditors. Fine.
Hmm.
And now what I'll do is I'll go to the policies. Okay. And create a policy called audit. Or I'll say, name the same thing, auditors. And here, what I will write is allow group. And what is our group name? Auditors to inspect. So this will be just he will have an inspect privilege
Hmm.
to all resources. So what we want, we'll mention it as all resources in tenancy. So it's same like what we are talking now. So the syntax is also in the same way. So you can give this, so he will be able to inspect all resources, or you can say, sorry, allow group auditors to read instance. So maybe say, I'll say instances. So he will be able to read only the instances in tenancy. You can say that, or here you can say all resources, or you can say network resources, network family, individual resources level, anything you can say. So in this way, so if you say, if you create a policy like this, okay, it's something, some description it's requires, okay. So now we have auditors group with some policies, which has only the inspect policy. And what we will do is we'll go back to the groups and assign this particular user to this group instead of the other group. So cloud ERP, you don't have now anything. You have removed the user. So now I'll go back to the auditors and assign this user to this group, which is Oracle Cloud 23 user. So now this user is part of audit group. So once you log in with this user, he will be now able to read the VCN. At least he has the inspect privilege right now. So he will be able to see, instead of earlier, he is not even able to see what all the resources are there. He's straight away getting the authorization error, right? Now I'll go from the pinned request VCN and select the compartment, make sure I'm on the root compartment. And now if you see, he is able to view that, inspect that. But let's see if he's able to create a new VCN or create a subnet under that. I'll say it's a regional subnet, and I'll give some CIDR range for this subnet. Whether it is a private or public. And I'm just creating a subnet. And you see authorization failed or request resource not found. He's not able to create anything, but he's able to inspect everything. He is able to see the VCN information. He's able to see what is the OCID value of this, and he is able to go to the default route tables, whether he's able to see what all the route tables are there in this particular VCN, and he is able to go to the security list. Now he's able to do everything. Yeah.
Able to view everything, right? But
able to view everything. Yeah. But he's not able to, like, see, he still have, you can only give manage access to the auditor groups in the tenancy for the instances only. Maybe this is the instances. So here we gave a read only, right? A read access. So you can give something like manage. So then he will also be able to create a particular resource. So in that way, you will decide like the groups. So whether it has to be a read verb or it's a inspect verb. So we will also go in detail, like on the more policies and real-time use cases also in the next sessions. But yeah, to know on a higher level, this is what, like we create a user, we create a group users, and then create the required policies and assign that particular policy so that we give the access, the required access to this user. So identity is done by creating the user, and access management is done by placing the user in a particular group where the group has the required set of policies. Yeah. So we saw after attaching the difference, whether he's able to view that or he's not able to view that. So we'll create some compartments, and we'll see the access policy in a compartment based level in the next session tomorrow. And we'll discuss more about the other policies, what we have, and in detail on the syntax level as well. Syntax is more or level. We saw a read, manage, inspect, right? There are a few other things which we will discuss. So any other questions you have? Okay, so
Currently not, but today we'll check if we have any questions. We'll connect tomorrow.
yeah, sure.
And I have shared an email with the Prasad,
Okay.
all the screenshot.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll check
just
it out. Yeah.
please have a word. And I think most of the getting the same error.
Mhm.
Hope in our like training, those who are member have the access or no, I don't know. But but
Yeah, let
I'm
me
getting-
also try it out from my side. I will also try to create an account and see if I'm also getting the same thing or not.
Yeah. I have shared this screenshot. Okay.
Okay,
Hemant.
yeah, that's fine. Also, mostly get in touch with Prasad and the team to get yourself enrolled to this course. I think they'll keep a passcode coming from the next sessions. So make sure that you enroll and then we'll catch you tomorrow to continue with this IAM policies, and then we'll start up with VCNs, how to create VCNs and etc. All right, so that's it for today. Have a nice day. See you all tomorrow.
Sure, Hemant. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.